Welcome to the Community Builder Podcast. The world is our classroom, and every moment is an opportunity to understand human connection at a newer level. On this podcast, we'll explore the minds of active community builders as they strive to leave their imprint on the world. I am your host, Travis King. Let's build. Before we get started, we would like to thank our sponsor, Cruise Control Music, the ultimate audio branding experience. Cruise Control Music creates custom, authentic sounds and music to showcase your brand identity and is a direct reflection of your vision, goals, and values. If you're looking to start or level up your podcast experience, log on to cruisecontrolmusic.com. Welcome, Monica, to WeWork HQ. I'm super excited to chat with you today. So for everyone, Monica is a neurohacking meditation teacher with a degree in neuroscience, communication, and sociology. She also is extremely ambitious, and she loves helping humans align their heads with their hearts through science-backed mindset techniques and spiritual enhancement practices. She turned the busy and burnt out into the joyful and into the anxious-free. And so I'm just super excited to chat with Monica today. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
And yeah, she's also the CEO of Radiance Festival, which is a conscious music festival. And I kind of would love to start by telling everybody, what that is. Like, what's Radiance Festival? And what's going on?
Yeah. So thank you for having me. I'm very excited for our chat today. I know it's going to be fantastic because me and you just off the cuff love to riff and go deep. And Radiance Festival. So Radiance Festival is a conscious music festival. It's a one-day festival, and we're launching the third one. And really what it is, it's making a lot of these healing modalities very approachable. So in the festival setting, it's fun, it's light, you get to meet new people, you get to dance and really connect with one another. And tech problems. We have our iPhone that just went off. Here we go. And really what Radiance Festival does is it makes consciousness... Oh.
Sorry, humans.
Sorry,
There you
humans.
go. Can you see it? Yeah.
There we go. Okay, we're back. All right. I'm gonna pick it up from the top. So Radiance Festival is a conscious music festival. So what we've really done is we've taken the festival scene of play and fun and connecting with people and dancing and being out in nature and really bridge that with consciousness. So what we've done is we have a healing tent. So within the healing tents, we have a plethora of geniuses in their zone of healing. So there's so many different ways to find something that works for you and healing in your mindset, your spirituality, or your emotions. And we have everything from essential oils to trapeze yoga to, massage therapy to Reiki. And really what we're doing is making these things really approachable because there is a huge demographic out there that's looking for ways to better their life, but they may never even have heard of Reiki, which essentially is like getting your energy body massage. It's like getting a massage from the outside in.
Did you say energy body massage?
Yes, your energy body massage. Exactly. Like that face that you have right there of like curiosity and like, what is that? Is exactly the kind of attendees that I want to attract to Radiance Festival because there's so many different modalities out there that are so beneficial, but people don't even know about it. And not only do they not know about it, maybe they do know about it. Maybe I introduced you to Reiki and you're like, that sounds really cool. But are you really going to pick up the phone and find a Reiki master and go to one? Like, I don't think so. So bringing all of these...
my mom back.
So bringing all of these things that have been around for eons, and they're making a wave and they're making a splash because consciousness is now growing and spirituality is now growing in popularity, but making it so approachable that even if you're just curious, you come to the festival, you try it out. It's not a serious setting. And you see what works for you because I believe that there's no size one size fits all when it comes to bettering yourself. For me, meditation works. For you, it might be massages work for you. So that's what we've done with Radiance Festival, and I'm super proud of it. I absolutely love being a founder and working to create this community and this environment for others.
Yeah, and I guess so. How did it start? Like, I guess could you quick rewind as to how it got started, and then we can fast forward to maybe how some people can figure out ways to take that first step and like maybe go to an introduction event or something like that, or even like a meetup or something.
Yeah. So it started because I've been doing workshops and teaching meditation for, I'm almost at my 4 years. May it'll be 4 years, and thank you. And really, so it came from my community. So it was last year, and I was hitting my 3-year mark, and I was like, I really want to do something to celebrate that we've, grown these events for 3 years, and the community is like vibrant and thriving. But I want to make it fun, less workshop, more of like out in nature, bring people together. And it just so happened that 3 other people had a similar vision, and we kind of literally like went to a cafe one day, talked about creating a festival, set the date, and threw our first festival within a month and a half, which is like really crazy. And that's how I knew it wasn't something that like I created with the team. It was something that really came through us, that was like the universe and being like, the earth needs this, go. Because the way that everything lined up, like it is impossible. It is impossible to throw a festival in a month and a half, and we did it. So I totally believe that we are backed by something way bigger than ourselves. And so that's how it started. It was just like organically through the community. It was what the community wanted. So that's how it started.
And then, so like, what was it like that made you, that said, hey, Monica, start like, what, like, was it just people being like, hey, like, I want to learn like about meditation, but like, I don't know what's out there. Like, what were some of the questions people were asking you?
Yeah, it really started from like, we can take this to the next level. And it started with people that were essentially like students of mine. And I had this idea of like celebrating my anniversary, which was like so small. Like that's not what it ended up being at all. And they had the vision of like, yeah, let's be in nature, let's do this. And we just somehow like really realized all of our superpowers. So my partner is a music director, a phenomenal DJ, and is like superb at operations. So it's just like, okay, that's fitting. I'm a visionary, and I'm a connector. So I have a network of amazing people, so I could bring people together. And not only people that can attend and be our guests, but people that can offer their services. We had someone else who their zone of genius was marketing and really getting, our branding right. So we just had like all of the little departments already kind of right there for us, and was just like, let's just go for it and let's just really do it. So it was really just answering the call. And the call didn't come in a form of like, woke me up in the middle of the night. It was like, this is the vision. It was literally people being like, we can do this. Let's do this. How amazing would it be to have a festival? But instead of escaping ourselves and, forgetting how the festival even went and, getting like, so outside of our bodies through drugs or through different things and connecting, but not in a real authentic way. What if we did a festival where you're connecting with yourself and you're meeting people and you're connecting with others in a genuine way, and you actually remember it, and you're high on life, not high on substance. So there's no drugs, there's no alcohol served at this festival, and people have way more fun without it. And they're like, I haven't had this much fun ever, let alone have I ever had this much fun sober, because the energy there is infectious. We jump, we dance, we laugh, and we actually see each other. And we see each other not because, oh, I'm tripping and like, whoa, dude, like, yeah. It's like, I see you and it's just real. And we have like a real connection because you're human, I human. And like, we both have feelings. And like, I fucking see you, Let's have some fun here. So yes, that's Radiance Festival.
I love that. I know. I love that. And I think like the seeing you and like the proximity, I think is a huge thing for people. Because like looking someone in the eye, it you can't put like a price tag on the feeling of connection, and I don't even know how to begin to like try to help people understand that, because it's just one of those things where you're just like, once you do it and it happens and you like know what it feels like, you're like, oh wow, I need more of this. Just like the same feeling that you're like, oh wow, I need to keep scrolling through. I need to get more likes or whatever that thing is. It's like, no, you need more of that look in the eye thing. Yeah, that's what you need. And I really loved about how you mentioned that when people come to Radiance Festival, that people connect with themselves. Because that also is something I feel like that we should talk about a little bit, because I feel like people run away from connecting with themselves. And I can even raise my hand and be like, I know I do it. And I can think of a gajillion examples off the top of my mind. But I guess, let's talk about the importance of connecting with yourself.
Yeah, I think we live in a society right now where there is a lot of illusion out there as to how we're connecting with each other. And a lot of it has to do with being on our screens versus being face to face.
Yeah, this is real.
And I'm
on a screen, but sorry, y'all, this is relevant.
And I'm not, trying to like demean social media and like, oh, let's get off our phones. But I am saying that we've lost something in that quote unquote connection of being online, and we've become disconnected.
This is just for the video, y'all. For the video, and then for the people, if they can see at all, this is a glass diamond of people with a person on the other side. So that's just like...
Yeah, just that image is just like this right there. That image is so telling. This woman is longing to connect with people, and she's reaching out her hands to a group of people, and they're longing to connect with her, but they're in this prism. They're in this glass structure. They're in this crystal. And it's so telling because all of our technology is made from crystals. Like, LED is a crystal, so she's literally, all these people are crystallized in this diamond image that you're showing me. And this woman, they're all reaching out. And, to connect not only with others, but to connect with yourself is so powerful. And it is something that you can't really explain. Like, you have to feel it. And I think by connecting to yourself first, can you really truly connect with others and meeting yourself? And I think self-love, as corny as it is so important. It's so important to love yourself and just get to know yourself. We're always growing and evolving and changing. And it's like, what do I like? What don't I like? What makes me cry? What makes me angry? What makes me happy? Like, who do I want to surround myself with? Like, these are all great questions to ask yourself.
But that stuff's hard, though.
Is it? Or is it harder to ignore it?
I don't know. Let's go both sides. So, like, it's hard, though.
It's hard to connect with, let's say, like, okay, so let's play the game of, like, it's hard to connect with myself.
Mm-hmm. I like this game. It's hard to connect with myself. Monica, what should I do?
Well, I think we have to be careful the stories we tell ourselves. Because, like, I think if you think something's hard, guess you're right. If you think it's easy, you're right. It really starts with your mindset. And I think the longer you procrastinate on getting to know yourself, the longer you try to suppress, the longer you try to block it through, the more and more the inner you is like, please just give me attention. Please, like, I'm just begging. And then it starts to like go from like pleading with you to terrorizing you and throwing a tantrum and throwing a fit on the inside of you. And it perpetuates. Like, things manifest. Everything has an intention and everything can manifest. So until you actually take a look at yourself and be like, okay, like, why are you throwing yourself on the floor and like screaming and kicking and yelling? Versus just like processing things and being conscious and being aware and moving through them and growing from them. I think it's just two different ways to look at it. And I think it's easy to ignore, and it could be easy to really like ignore doing the work. And it could be easy to just like get distracted and be more about like meeting other people and learning about other people and doing things for the others. But there's something so magical that happens when you just meet yourself, and it's not as hard as we make it out to be. Here's the thing. You can either sit in a room and journal or communicate with yourself, whatever means necessary, which takes nothing. Like, you could close your eyes, you could have a conversation with yourself. It takes nothing. Or you could take an action that requires something. It requires picking up the phone. It requires whatever distraction is your flavor, turning on the TV. Now you're taking an action. Now you have to grab the phone. Now you have to grab the remote control versus just sitting down and closing your eyes. So you tell me which is harder.
Yeah.
It's like when people want to quit smoking cigarettes. Oh, it's hard. It's like, it's actually hard, like more work to get in your car, drive to the gas station, buy the cigarettes, get the lighter, light up the cigarette, smoke the cigarette, put the cigarette out, get back in your car and drive home or whatever it is, versus just don't do any of that. Don't do any of it. Like, which one took more work?
Fair. Silence. She's right. No, I mean, I agree with that 100%. And so now on the other side, it's easy.
It's easy.
Right. It's easy. So like, I guess actually, wait, before we go into what's easy, what are some common mistakes that people, like, what are some common things that people do that they might not think is hiding from, like, having a conversation with themselves?
I think these is just distractions, just falling into the distractions. That's so easy. Our attention is so sought after by so many marketers, by so many people who are like, I have this shiny thing that you need. Trust me. We are inundated with being a consumer mentality versus a creator mentality. Totally not our fault. We're a byproduct of our environment. But knowing that, I think more people know that now more than ever. Knowing that, now what? Knowing that now, how are you consciously going to make a different stance? That's what I think.
With these microphones. No, I love that. And I guess now going to the opposite side for, like you said, the people that are easy.
Some tips on it?
Yeah, because like I feel like, like for people that like we go through and like you said, it's just like easier to like to be happier and to like to focus on like what you want versus like living in distractions and being afraid of boredom and being alone. Because like I feel like a lot of people, and even I find myself, I'm gonna put myself out. I'm calling myself out. I find myself doing things to just like sometimes just pass time. I'm like, oh, I'm bored, so like maybe I'll play a game. Or how many times have either you all watching, listening, or even yourself gone to Netflix, or even not even Netflix, and we have an Amazon Fire TV. So we went to Fire TV, Netflix, Prime Video, and like Hulu, and still didn't find something to watch. And we spent an hour and we didn't do anything. Whereas if I probably would have just sat there on the couch in the dark and had a conversation with myself for, maybe like 2 minutes, I probably would have gotten somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's just like one of the, I feel like, distractions that so many people, like, they're like, oh man, like I stopped doing that. It's like, no, you didn't. Like you still do that. So, easy, like what's an easy way for people to like not get distracted?
Well, it's a choice, and it does require some effort. But I will say to give some tips on people who are doing the work and want to get to know themselves more and really want to, get to know themselves more is this idea of dropping labels of good and bad. Because I think that's the trap we get ourselves into. It's like, I don't want to get to know myself because I don't remember that I don't want to remember that bad thing. Or I don't want to look at the flaws I have. I don't want to look at that because we label things good and bad. And it's like we made that up, Get the idea of good and bad outside of your context, because it's really not about being bad or good. It's about being like, is this effective in my life? Like, do I want to feel this way? And I would say more so, instead of labeling things good and bad, think about how it makes you feel. Does it make you feel good and happy and high vibrations? Good vibes, high vibes are real because you're in a higher frequency. When you're in a higher frequency, it's joy, love, peace, forgiveness, bliss, enlightenment. When you're in a lower state of consciousness, it's sad, shame, guilt, anger, whatever it is. So it's more about like, how are you feeling on the spectrum of feelings? And the second thing is like, whatever flaw, whatever thing that you are trying to like avoid in yourself, love that. And you have to, if you're ever going to get past something, you have to meet it where it is and love it. And understand that whatever flaw or whatever it is that you're going through, whatever memory you have, love on it because it's been neglected for so long, and realize that there is a lesson there. And if we can love what we hate, how powerful are we? Like two people yelling and screaming at each other and hating on each other. Think of politics. Like that's like such a trigger for people now. If you hate the people that are in office, you're not helping the problem. What if we loved them? What if we loved them so much that they actually got in touch with themselves, realized that they need to love more? What a different world would be that?
I'm sorry. You just hit me with like, I'm getting like goosebumps.
What does hate do? Like, why are you gonna put darkness on darkness? Like, is that helping the situation? Are we hearing each other? Are we listening? It's like, what if we loved it? What if we brought light? What if we brought gold energy to the world? You know, it would be like, wow, that'd be so different.
I can't even say the words out loud that I'm thinking. Everybody knows what I'm thinking. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna let y'all say it to yourselves. But I'm gonna leave that there.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But like thinking about like what if that were actually a thing. It's insane to think about a world, what it would look like if we all were like, I love everything I hate, and just. Can we get that on T-shirts or like a poster?
Yeah, if you can't love it, how are you going to get past it? How are you going to transmute it into love if you can't love it? And you're just throwing more hate on it. Like, think about the power of how much you're growing what you hate by hating it more.
So then eventually it becomes something you love?
Something that you just can understand and understand that, okay, if someone makes
love is understanding, I feel like.
No? Well, I feel like here's the thing. Like, this is so relevant for me because I was tested so hard yesterday by someone who just wanted to just bring me down to a low vibration. Like, they were doing their best to say all the things. I was just like, I'm not going to meet you there. I am not going to bring myself down. Meet me on the high road. That is where I live. That is where I'll be. And I love you, and I know that you're just hurting. You're hurting me because you are hurting, and I send you so much love. Like, you are so angry, and I don't know why, because I know it's not me. Like, I know in my bones it's not me. Mm. So, like, I love you, and I hope you find the reason why you're so angry, and I hope you deal with it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel people listening love the things you hate. Short. Because I really think that's such. I can't. When you said love the things you hate, I literally got this like tingly thing, like like I'm like okay, like because eventually like what? Because then once you start looking at all like, because then once you remove those things, it's kind of like I don't know. Do you remember there was like the Scooby-Doo cartoon with the slime like creature thing?
Okay.
So, like, I'm just imagining just, like, removing that, like, that thing is, like, a piece of me, and I'm just, like, getting it off, but then I'm like, okay, like, eventually I'm just going to turn into love it, and it's going to turn into Gumby.
And think about, like, yeah, man, and Scooby-Doo is, like, such an awesome reference, because, like, every time they took off the mask, it was someone who just needed to be loved.
Facts.
It was just someone who just needed to be loved. It wasn't this, crazy monster, ghoul. It was just, like, the guy that was, like, oh, like,
no one loves me.
I was just sad because I wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah, I just wanted someone to eat pizza with. Like,
just like,
it's crazy because like it's so. And people, we look at movies and they're like, haha, like he's the loser. But I'm like, everyone has been there.
Yeah.
And so now I feel like more than ever, it's so like everyone's like we're more connected but disconnected. And I'm like. Yeah, but like, what are we doing? And I'm like, okay, like now I got to start to fix the problem because I'm also part of the problem because I'm also not putting things out there that are giving people solutions to fixing this connectivity issue. It's like we're walking around all day, but we're not connected to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But people, they obviously reference to people, but like that's what we're doing. Like we're not connected. And like if your phone's not connected to LTE or Wi-Fi for like 2 minutes. Now imagine that feeling, but that's like where we're going around acting like we're not doing.
We're swimming in connection, man. Right now, there's Wi-Fi all around us. We're swimming in it.
Yeah, we probably have like 5 devices in here that are connected to the internet. Like, yeah, no. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm like devices, future. I mean, like that can kind of go into the next segment of future. And kind of like what the future of community and kind of one of the reasons why I'm so curious to talk about you because like where your head's at and like what you're up to. So I'm like, where are you going? Like, where's the future look like for you?
I think, for me, my biggest why is really unity, and you can't spell community without unity. And I think it's this time of, I think everyone's starting to realize it. You know, we've been in the disconnection mode, and we've been in the mode of like, let me do and let me acquire and listen and consume. And now it's like people are like, wait a minute, there's this other side of me that wants to play and love and create. And I think, you know, and connect and genuinely connect with people. And I think that is like it's funny is like, I think the future is going back to the basics. I think it's just communication. And I think it's, you know, and the word community gets thrown around so much, but this room is a community right now. Like you know what I mean? We have community, you know, like just between us, you know, and it's just, I think it's going back to the basics. And I think community is so important because I think more than ever people feel alone. You know, I can attest, like I felt so alone and, you know, and it's funny because it's like if everyone feels alone, we're not alone. Like we're together. And how can we come together in a real way where we could show up as ourselves and feel safe to do that and feel like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I've never lived in your shoes and I don't know your circumstances. And like, a part of me won't understand fully, but I've felt those feelings. Like, I've cried. Like, I've been angry. I've been, you know, jealous. I've been there. I see you. It's okay. Let's go through this together and let's just add some more play into our lives and not take ourselves so seriously. Because at the end of the day, it's just like, this is our life. You know what I mean? Like, this is our freaking life. Let's live it, you know? Let's live it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like, just personally too, realizing that like you need more playtime. And it sounds like, I don't know, funny, but like going back into like recess in school.
Yeah.
Couldn't nobody.
Is that your favorite subject?
I mean, I was a nerd, so like I actually really love school.
Oh, me too.
I
Yeah.
really love school. I was bad at reading when I was younger. I have my like second grade report cards and it was like, Travis has trouble comprehending sentences, but is trying really, really hard and is really working well and is improving week over week. And I'm like, see, I was a hard worker when I was like in second grade. But yeah, I definitely love learning. It was something that I picked up early, but like recess was one of those things where like you could do what you wanted. And like no one could tell you anything. You could play kickball, you could play wall ball, you could play football, jump rope, basketball. I jump rope.
Find me at the jump rope.
Double dutch, I double dutched. I did back. Oh
Skip
my
it.
God. All that stuff. Like you could do anything. You were just free for an hour from school. Yeah. And it's just like thinking of that and now translating that into like adult recess. Now it's like, what sorts of things can we do to connect? And it's like, well, you have to get outside of, you have to remove the distractions. And I feel like it's hard to like remember to replace, like, hey, you need to replace this piece of you with something else because it's not, you're not being the best you can. And exactly. So it's like remembering to always do things that, remember to play because like, what else is there if there's not fun?
Yeah. And if I could get like nerdy and scientific on you, you know, I don't think nature.
Oh no.
I don't think nature makes any mistakes. You know, I think like nature pretty knows what the fuck it's doing. And our brain has two hemispheres. And, you know, I'll just speak to like United States of America society because that's what I know, specifically New York City, you know, society. But we are so dominantly in our, you know, left side of the brain, which is our logic side, which is our, you know, it's in charge of the past and the future. And it knows how to do things like follow instructions and do math and all of the things that are beautiful and great. And we totally need it because we do need to get things done and we do need math and we need to like balance checkbooks and follow directions to get where we're going. And it's good to remember the past to like not do the same mistakes. And it's great that we can like foresee the future and see like, oh, if I take this and this and this, it most likely will lead me to this. That's great. We live here, I would say 90% of our time is in the left side of our brain. We have a whole right side of our brain that we never really access. And what is the right side of the brain? It's the present moment. It's like the here and now. Oh, it's like, wow, right now. Like what's going on right now and being present with it. It's the play, it's the imagination, it's the creativity. And when we were kids, we accessed both really great. and we access the right side of our brain so much. Like we always were pretending and playing and everything. So what's happened is that it's like if you went to the gym and you just worked out the left side of your body and you were ripped on the left side of your body, and then on the right side of your body, you just had a spaghetti string arm. Like we've done it. We know what it is to live in the left side. We need to just align it. You know, we need to just 50-50, you know, and as silly as it sounds to someone, especially someone who's more left, you know, willed to be more left brain operated and do and hustle and get things done. It's like there's actually such power in being creative and playful and being in the present moment. Like you can problem solve so much better if you're creative and thinking outside the box than if you're just like, I'm just going to will this. Yeah.
Oh, I've done that. I remember in the gym, at least, just like trying to just muscle my way through just weights that I like shouldn't even be like, bro, why are you muscling through that? Like, you didn't need to do that. Like, you did not help you one bit. So definitely realized that I should be using more of my brain. Because I too tend to be very like left, like past, future, like even. Sometimes I find myself like having trouble falling asleep sometimes because you're just like, am I thinking about what's next? Like even last week, I forget what I had like an event or something and I just like couldn't fall asleep. And I'm like, why can't I fall asleep? Because then I'm sitting there thinking about the future, about what's going to happen in 8 hours. And all of a sudden it turns into 4 hours and it's 2 and then it's like an hour before. And then you're like, all right, well, I got a nap, but like... It's not turning off that left side of your brain. And it's like,
think
for
about
me,
what's missing out from that. Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, I just have to turn that off, put it back into the right side and reconnect. Because for me, I can keep the right side on all day. But sometimes it's like, you got to turn that off. Like, you can't always play. Mm-hmm. So, but like, it's hard to balance because I feel like with a lot of people, it's tough. It's like, oh, you're at work, but like, why can't you be funny and joyful and high frequency? And, so.
Even just play your like favorite song and start dancing. Like it doesn't have to be hard. It could be so easy. Like
what are some of your like
so easy hacks?
Yeah, I'm like
dancing. Yeah, like dancing and getting up and moving your body and being silly and playful. I love watching like SNL clips on YouTube and like comedy, like just stand up and just laughing. And I meditate too. I'm a meditation teacher, so that helps me very much stay in the present. And like it's easy to get in the present to me and like to anybody. It's very natural. It's actually, I think, harder to get into the past and the future because it's not here. The present is here, so that's got to be easier, you know?
True.
Like, right, you want to know a hack right now we could all do?
What's that?
Okay. To get really present, listen for the slightest, smallest noise you can hear right now. Now listen for like the loudest sound you can hear. And that just like makes you so present because you can't predict that like someone's clinging dishes or walking past or typing or a dog barking. Like you can't predict that. So you're no longer in the past. You're no longer in the future. You're just so present because it's just like, oh, there's that noise and that noise and that noise.
Dang.
Yeah.
You definitely brought me. I was like, oops.
And now we're here.
But I feel like a lot of people do that. Like I know, especially like with my parents, for example, my dad, everything is almost in the past. But like there's also like the future stuff where he always has like imaginations. But like that's only because he's like older, grew up in the South, very traditional parent. And so like it's interesting to when you bring up like the past and it's like, but then like the people who operate in the past, it's like, how do you deal with them? And I've learned, and you can definitely speak to your experience, but like, it's hard to bring someone from the past to the future to the present, or like, it's hard to bring anyone from any one of those 3 stages to another one, I feel like.
Why? I just did it.
Well, okay, I lied. I guess I'm trying to like, when I'm trying to bring someone who's used to being in the past to like the future. So like,
trick them into it.
trick someone into okay. Well, and I'm like, all right, well now I gotta learn how to trick my dad into
But like,
being in
oh,
the future.
from like whatever he's bringing up about the past, he'd be like, oh, I wonder, how do you see that relevant to in today?
Okay. That's a good one for him.
You know?
That's a good one for him. Because like it'll be like, oh dad, like, I don't know. What are we be talking about? Something random about like technology, cell phones.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, if someone were to tell me that you could be on the phone and FaceTime someone on the other side of the world from your hand, like, haha.
Right.
But like for real though, if we would have said, oh, there's gonna be a thing that you can fly from your phone and it's gonna fly like 1,000 feet in the air and you can operate it, like a drone.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was a kid, a drone, like all
Yeah.
that, like so it's like, yeah, we all were sped up into the future now. We either like accept it or we don't. And so with someone like my dad, it's like tough because it's like trying to move what do they say? You can lead a horse to water, but
Yeah.
you can't make a drink.
Yeah.
And so like I could bring him to, I could literally give him the training and upgrade his phone, all that, but like, can you still do it for me? Like he's not gonna.
I see.
I don't know if it's the same.
So
I maybe
more so.
misphrased it.
I like someone steal this idea. It's called rent a millennial. Like I joke about this with my parents. I'm like, you just need to rent a millennial because I'm like not for hire any longer.
I mean,
These
yeah.
services. But I think that's just parents, dude. Like,
Okay, yeah.
give them a break. They've done a lot for you.
That's fair. I mean, no, that's fair and funny.
You can help him. What did he give you shelter and food for how many years? Let the man have a Wi-Fi password.
That's so true. And it's funny you even say that because I found myself like, I was like, oh man, like my mom was doing something and I was like, oh my God, like what? Like you're really about to get impatient over trying to download an app. You literally just have to help her type in her password, download the app, and then like you're good.
But it is triggering. I mean, I can say the same thing. It's definitely triggering. Like even for me, like I'm not perfect. Like it's just like it's frustrating because you're just like, why can't you get it? It's so easy.
Yeah, but then you're
it's
human.
not easy for them. You just gotta be patient, man.
I feel like patience is one of those like hidden gems.
Right? I saw a meme once. It was just like, why is patience a value? Why can't hurry the fuck up be a value?
No, that's fair. I feel like patience is one of those things though, like you can't, I don't know what it is about it, but like anything short-term, long-term, it's like hard to, like actually this is a perfect question. Meditation. How do you know if you've meditated right? Because like,
see, what's the point? Like no one cares if you're a good meditator. It's like something you put on your resume, like expert meditator. It's like the results you get on the other
people
side.
People put expert meditator on the resume.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, if we're at like a coffee shop and you're like, hey, like, what are your strengths? And I say meditation, you're gonna be like, not impressed. It's the results you get after meditation. Like the goal of meditation isn't to meditate. The goal is the results you get on the other side. So the results you get on the other side is tapping in to that right side of your brain, equaling out your playing fields, and like everything just compounds. Like you're more creative, you're more focused, you're a happier person. You connect with people. Like you connect with people after you meditate because you're just like, you realize like, oh yeah, we're all one. Like it's literally like a reggae song. You're like, yeah, we are all one. Yeah, like wow, I should hold the door open for this person. Yeah, I will smile at that person. Like, you let things go too. Like I let things used to bother me that were so petty and small. Like someone walking too slow in front of me used to get me annoyed. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Like that does not need to take up any of your energy. You could just walk around them. You know what I mean? But like you meditate, you realize like all this shit we like pent up energy, we don't need it. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta like how you take a shower every day, like clear out your energy every day, meditate. It's called a practice because you're supposed to do it more than once and feel good.
Practice.
And the thing is like, people are like, oh, like there's all these benefits of meditation, but like how? How could that be true? And I always say to them, it's like because meditation is like basically allowing you to like unstress, like de-stress your entire body. And if you think about how you are when you're stressed out, you're not patient. You can't go to sleep. Your immune system is shot. You don't want to talk. You barely even want to talk to people, let alone be like around them. You're not focused. You're not productive. You're not creative. Like you're none of these things because you're stressed. So if you're meditating, you unstress, all of a sudden the opposite is true. You're more creative, productive, want to be around people. Like it really does change you. And people could feel it. People are like, there's something, people I know for a fact look at me and they say, there's something about her. I can feel it. And then all it is, it's not a secret, is I fucking meditate. and I sit with myself and I get to know myself and I face off with myself. And that's the work. And that's a conscious leader.
I'm going to ask you this.
Yeah.
Are you, maybe you're going to tell me yes or no. What's one of the hardest things that you've ever had to face for yourself?
Forgiveness. I had held a grudge on someone for over 10 years. I did not forgive them, and I was resentful, and I was a victim. I was like, I can't believe they did this to me. And it killed me until I forgave them.
And I was going to say, how did you take that step to forgiveness for that person?
Well, it took me 10 fucking years. Sorry, I don't know if we're allowed to curse. But apparently I'm cursing because we're in New York City. I swear. It's something that happens when you enter the city. But I'll clean up my language.
Except
but
you're good.
At this point, I curse too much. But it took me a long time, you know? It took me a long time. And I realized that I wasn't like, by holding a grudge onto someone, like, they weren't hurting. Like, I wasn't doing anything to them. They didn't even know, you know, they barely, who knew if they even remembered me? You know what I mean? But I was the one suffering. I was the one that was holding on to that resentment. I was the one that was angry. I was the one that was the victim. And it wasn't serving me. And what finally happened was I was lucky enough to have, like, been vulnerable in a group workshop. And I said, like, yeah, I'm still resentful towards someone. And this, you know, and then I found a coach who helped me forgive, like, truly forgive. Like, if I saw this person today, I would be like, hey, what's up? Like, how are you? Versus, like, in the past, I'd probably run away. Yeah.
Nice. I feel like that's such a, that's one, kudos for doing that, because it's such a good, such a great, you're such a great role model for people that are looking to forgive someone. And, like, after 10 years, that's like such a huge, it's like, that's a huge thing. And being able to do that just shows that, like, you're a true leader, and that other people, like, hey guys, like, you can forgive people even if it's, like, longer than you wanted to, like, as long as they're still here. And actually, no, like, even if, like, there's things that you can forgive people for who aren't here anymore too. And
yeah. And
I feel like just that thought of, like, thinking of, that's an exercise people can do, right? They can think of people or things that like you said, things that they hate, and then turn into things they love. And I had a funny thought of, like, not experiment, but I guess it would be just, like, we talked about this, like, bringing people together about their fears. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you afraid of, or what's one of your biggest things that you're, like, most fearful for? And, like, let's get together and talk about it, or let's face it, or put them in the room, or whatever it is. Because, like you said before, the good or bad, like, nothing's good or bad. And, like,
yeah.
And I'm like, wait, no memory's good or bad. And I'm like, wait. So, but, like, everyone has to go through, like, I'm imagining wiping my internal hard drive. Because, like, what is it? The literate of the 21st century, those who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. Cool. Yeah. Learn, unlearn, relearn. Pretty much we have to, like, delete some information and some thoughts, some memories in order to relearn new ones.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, how do you unload? Like, how do I unload a memory from a T-shirt? There's, like, 100 memories in there. Yeah. Or do you just, like, unload the shirt? Mm-hmm. That, like, gets rid of the problem. But I feel like de-stressing and deloading for people, and I don't know if you have any, like, either experience with it, or if you have any advice for people on how they can deload from having just, like, too much. Just, like, I guess just meditating, maybe?
I think meditation helps. And I think there's always a lesson and intention behind everything. Always. Find it. Just keep asking yourself, like, what does this mean? And what does that mean? And what does that mean? And what does that mean?
Just keep going.
Until you find the answer. Everything has an intention. Nothing can exist without an intention. Like, nothing. That water bottle, someone said, I have an intention. I'm going to make a water bottle, and then made it. This table, us as human beings, like, there's an intention. Like, there's nothing that can exist without an intention. Even your habits. Even if you are smoking a cigarette, you know it's bad for you. You want to quit. there's an intention that you keep smoking because maybe you feel rebellious. You want to be a rebel. This is your way of being a rebel. Or maybe you need connection. You're like, I have breaks and I go outside and I talk to people. It's my connection time. Or, whatever it is. Like, there's always an intention behind everything that we do. So find what that is and find out what it's trying to teach you.
I like that. And
then replace it. You know what I mean? If it's to be a rebel, like, how else can you be a rebel? Maybe you could be a rebel by creating a song and doing an open mic. Maybe that could be your new rebel act and replace smoking cigarettes with that. It's serving you in some level, or else it wouldn't exist.
I like that. Also, as you said, the nothing can be brought into this world like without intention. I started looking around and I was like, no way. There's gotta be something in this room that is...
Everything's created twice. It's created the mind, and then it's created in like our 3D physical world.
Even the
First
tree?
you think it, then you do it. Yeah, even the tree. Someone had an intention of planting a seed.
Okay, you're right. Okay. I was trying to stress test. I'm trying to poke holes in the stuff. I guess also as I'm thinking, how are we? My phone is there.
It's
11:20. We still have we still have a couple minutes left.
Cool.
I'm trying to think on either things that we went over. Kind of like take pause break. Life coach. People who are...
A lot of rants in this.
Yeah, no, I mean I like it. There's a lot of like you said a lot of like great quotes and a lot of things I feel like can stick with people.
I hope so. I hope this is helpful.
Oh no, this is good. I'm just trying to think of like whether the last time this usually it always happens every single episode. We get good amount recorded, and then I like thinking about like, okay, like what else should we cover? / like, was there anything that popped up in your head that you kept silent? / like either didn't write down or because like when something comes in your head, but then you want to say it, but then realize you can't say it.
Always, yeah. I wrote down one thing that I could touch on. It's left field.
Okay, I played center, but
I like the center. Okay, but it's this idea of like giving advice, and being, especially, people who are building communities or entrepreneurial, or even anyone who has an Instagram these days, of like trying to give advice to other people. And your intention may be to help other people, but I just want to plant the seed that like, let people have their journey. It took me 10 years to forgive someone, and I think I needed those 10 years, and I think so, like all of us can just like get off of our, stages and come meet people where they are and love people where they are. And it's not up to us to change people. It's not up to us to give advice. It's up to us to just be the best we can be. And then hopefully that will allow someone else to be the best themselves. Because I have been getting unsolicited advice lately. And I would love for everyone to just realize that everyone is on their journey. And it's not for us to give advice to everyone we meet.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And you're speaking to the advice, I don't want to say demon, but like I have been guilty of just blah,
Right.
blah. And it's like coming from a place. And then like one day I was just like, yo, I legit just thought I gave you like gold. Like, yo, take this gold.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Like, bro, that's kryptonite. Like, I'm allergic to, like, they're looking at me straight faced. Like, that's kryptonite, Trav. I'm like, nah, bro, this is gold. And it's like, yeah, no, like, unless it's asked for.
Right.
It's not needed all the time. And like, like you said, intention, like, yes, I intended for X, but like also you can't control how other people interpret.
And sometimes they need a different messenger. Like maybe I could say something to someone and then you come right like the next week and say the same thing and they're like, oh, that's what I needed to hear. Like sometimes it's the messenger.
Why couldn't you just hear me the first time? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I just want to ease that from people. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we get just like, oh, like you said, like I gave you gold. Like it's like just because it's just wasn't their time.
It's like one of those I'm trying to think of like the spy, like anything that from when we were younger. I don't know. This nostalgia thing always pops up when we talk. I feel like
It does.
what was some like if you look at it, like one person sees like like the psychology pictures,
Yeah.
like the with the wine glasses and the faces.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
the-
someone saw a cow and someone saw like a woman.
Yeah, right. And it's just like what? And it's like yes, that's.
But
what,
then you could see it, and then you're like,
Right.
oh, but see, like, follow my finger. Like, this is the outline I saw. You're like, oh, right.
Yeah, it's one of those like
Blue dress, gold dress.
yeah,
It's a dress. Yeah, let's agree on that.
it's just it's a thing that everyone can go to see both sides. I think it's really important that people can like see both sides and realize that yes, I understand. Like actually no, like tell us about your story. Actually, tell us your story and give us your version because that's the advice you want to give me. So like instead, I feel like if we enable other because like another thing I've realized through this like journey so far is that like when you learn and like actually are interested in other people's stories, like they're just as willing and eager to learn about yours.
Yeah.
So like if you just put each other on and give each other space to share your stories, like you're gonna get the advice without asking for it.
Right.
Like
And that's community.
I mean, low key, it's like if you hear enough story, and it's really crazy too, because with me, I was like recently, this morning, I was watching YouTube videos on storytelling. Whenever there's something I want to learn, also fun fact hack, if I want to learn something, I literally go to YouTube and just
YouTube University.
type it in. And like storytelling, for example, is just one of those things where it's like, it's timeless. Like if you can tell a good story, it doesn't matter when it was set. Like if you have all the pieces and the components of a great story and it hits a chord with someone, they're going to remember that forever.
Yeah.
And it's like everything is in storytelling. And the more stories you hear from people in the community and from where you're from or that are interested in what you're interested in or that are going through similar things or whatever the common bond or thread of connection is, like you're going to learn something and you're going to get the advice. So I definitely love the chill. Everybody pump the brakes on giving the advice. Like, could you imagine if like people just didn't give advice for like a day, like no advice day? And people were just like, hey, instead of no advice day, like this is the tell your story day.
Right.
Like
that I could get behind. Tell your
That's-
story. Awesome. And then if something, if I can learn from it or other people can learn from it, beautiful. But like the straight up, like, you should do this is just like,
But see, like-
I don't know. It just it doesn't work.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people like some people like it though. Some people like it, some
Mhm.
people don't. But I'd be curious to see if there would be a fun way to like do a day like that. Just very like, hey, like everybody.
See, because that's the thing. Like people share their stories and then other people chime in about giving them advice.
Right. And so like instead of trying to give advice, just be like, yo, like you want to give advice, you wanted to comment, like, or DM me on how I should be doing this thing that I just took a picture of on my Instagram. How about you just tell everybody what your story is? And then if people want to look at it, they'll go look at it. Or
Right.
it'll be a feed of everyone's stories. Like, could you imagine that? Just the
Well, I
same
think
way we
that's
saw
what,
the
like-
ice bucket challenge. It's a feed of everyone's just story. Like, hey, my name is Travis King. I'm from Wilmington. Like, it's crazy. Like that people just constantly do that. It's just like, oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Where can people find you?
People can find me everywhere. My handles, my website is ITS Monica Adams. I had to keep the ITS in there.
That's funny.
So it's monicaadams.com. It's Monica Adams on Instagram, on Facebook. And if you're interested in Radiance Festival, radiancefestival.com, Radiance Festival on Instagram. And that's how you can find me. And I would love to continue the conversation. So anyone that's open to, has questions or just wants to jam more on these topics that we've covered or anything else, like I'm an open book. Please DM me. Find me.
Oh yeah, actually, I forgot to even mention how That's one. That's a fun. Actually, I kind of want to start doing a segment like that. It's like how we met. That'd be
That's
like
a good one.
fun. It'd be like a fun little like. Oh my god, a fun little like just map. Ours was Instagram. It was just like
Insta.
I saw no, was it? It was a YouTube video and an Instagram video, and then I think it was an Instagram video. And then I was like, she's yep, nope, DM, boop. Hey, I need to talk to you. Yeah, and it was just like,
that was great.
Very quick, like literally, what was it? Like maybe 15 seconds of words, and then I was like, oh yeah, no, I like what she's saying. DM, and then like, yeah, this happened. And so, yeah, I think it could be a very, very fun next conversation.
I love it.
Cool.
Sweet.
Boom.
Okay, so quick meditation. It's like a mini meditation, but wherever you are, I encourage you to just, if you can, if you're not driving or walking, or if you're able to, just close your eyes for just a second. Take a deep inhale in from your nose. Exhale from your nose. Take 3 more deep breaths on your own pace, just inhaling and exhaling in from your nose. And if you can, lift your hands, place it over your heart. Connect with your heartbeat. This powerful organ that is always guiding you through your intuition. And this simple act of just placing your hands over your heart actually sends serotonin through your body, and it allows your body to feel safe. You don't have to do or be anywhere but present right now, connecting with your heart. And allow yourself to just remove the ego, remove the self, the need to know everything, and just remove that for just these few moments here, and allow yourself to just become the vessel for love and connection and community and self-discovery. And just connecting with yourself allows you to connect deeply with others. And that's what we're here to do, is just be ourselves, shine bright. And that allows others to shine bright too. So I hope you find the words throughout the day, find the places you need to be, the people to connect with that are just going to lead you to exactly all the beautiful things you want in your future. But you can't get there unless you're present in the now. Namaste, y'all.
Thanks for listening to the Community Builder Podcast. If you received an ounce of value from this podcast, share it with your friends. Oh yeah, don't forget to leave me a 5-star review. I need those. Remember, each perfectly laid brick moves you one step closer to building your community.